Welcome back to the Slush Motorsports podcast. As you know, my name is Phil, and I have my co-host today, my brother, PJ.
What's good, y'all?
Thank you for joining us today. And, of course, shout out to C4 Productions for filming this podcast for us, and also our sponsor, Black Mountain Motorworks, for giving us the space to do this. So today we have a special guest. I view him as a BMW legend in Colorado. A lot of you guys know him by the name of Bryan, and he owns the shop ColoradoN5X. So, Bryan, thank you for being here with us today.
Appreciate it, bro.
Just to get this started off, go ahead and just tell us a little bit about your history and, like, being a car enthusiast. Like, how did your journey in this world start and, like, to where you are now?
Bro, I've been in the cars for a long time, but not, like, fast cars and stuff like that. My parents have a car dealership, and they don't like modding cars or anything like that, bro. They're straight, they buy a car, they don't fall in love with it, they sell it. So, bro, I was in, like, high school, and I saw my dad buy an E46 M3 just to flip, and he didn't know what it was, but I knew what it was. So, he bought it. I loved it. I told him I wanted to buy it. He's like, no, it's, you're going to make money for it. And he sold it. And then, ever since that, I was like, I'm a little bit different because I can't, I don't want to sell a car. I want to keep it for a while. Mm-hmm. So, honestly, that's how it really started, just, based off that. And then all my cousins, too, they've been into cars for the longest time, man. I got, two cousins of mine who are really big car guys. One of my cousins bought your car.
That's right.
Right. They're big car guys, and, in our family, bro, we're really competitive. So, he had the fastest car, so I was like, I want to be faster than him. And I didn't know much about cars back then, but I just knew I wanted to have a faster car than him. And, I worked at the dealership for a bit, and, I bought my first car. It was a BMW 540. And, bro, just slowly progressed. I didn't know much about it. I was that typical BMW douche that put, like, M stuff on a non-M BMW, and just slowly from there, obviously, I started transitioning into, like, mods and trying to be faster than, my cousin, and just kind of go from there.
So are you born and raised in Colorado?
Like, no, bro. No, I was, if you ignore my skin color, bro, I was born and raised in Mexico. Okay. I lived there for about, like, 10 years or so. So I'm from Jalisco, Guadalajara. And my parents, bro, they're, like, fluent Spanish. Like, if I were to talk to them, I only talk to them in Spanish. I was there just actually, like, a week ago.
That's actually pretty cool.
But
I never knew that about you.
Yeah, I got my green card when I was, I think, like, 16.
Okay.
So, yeah, bro, I don't look like it, but so if my English is a little bit bad,
Nah, it sounds good to me.
So from 16, you were out here in Colorado? Or
No. So I think I went back and forth. I lived with my grandma out there for a while when my parents were out here. I think I moved out here, I want to say, like, 7, 8 years old.
Okay. What's the difference between car culture in Mexico versus here?
Oh, bro, we got donkeys out there. I mean, where I'm from, bro, there's nothing crazy like that, right? Okay. I mean, like, my town, I'm sure, if you go to Guadalajara, which is, like, a bigger, town.
Right.
And that's where, like, Canelo and everyone's from, bro. Right. You got badass cars, you got something crazy, but, like, obviously it's a different car culture over there, too. Right. You go to my hometown, which is an hour and a half away, bro. We got horses, donkeys. That's what we're racing out there. We're not racing cars. That's real.
So was there dealership in Mexico or
no? Dealerships here
in Colorado?
Yeah, the dealership. My parents' car dealership, is out here in Colorado.
Okay,
it's a small family.
So BMW entered into your life at a young age, and you just, like, always stuck with it.
Yeah.
Right, and that's, like, your shop, ColoradoN5X. That's a BMW based, like, performance parts, and you do carbon fiber. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about, like,
the shop,
ColoradoN5X.
Yeah. I mean, bro, honestly, so it was me, and so the group started 2014. So I just graduated high school. I'm 28. I look young, but I'm pretty old now.
You're older than me.
Yeah, bro. So I was 28. I graduated in high school in 2014, and when I graduated, I was already in a few BMW groups, but no one was posting meets, no one was posting events. There was a group, and it was me and a buddy of mine. His name is Ivan Sanchez. He's also a BMW legend here in Colorado. A lot of people know him, but just, he does a lot of mechanic work here on the side. But him and me decided to open up a Facebook group to help other BMW members with cheaper prices, and that's what we called the ColoradoN5X. And then I took it into a business in, like, 2015, 16. Right. Just, like, a small business selling, just stickers, keychains, and shirts. Literally nothing, like, just that. And then, slowly progressed into selling, a little bit more. And then I started, like, learning about the drop shipping business. And then from the drop shipping business, I started learning about, taking on inventory, and it became like a legit LLC in 2018. So
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Like,
Yeah, that's big, man.
I learned about your business without even like meeting you, and it got to me. So I'd say that's doing pretty successful. And I don't drive BMWs, but
Yeah.
I still know you as, to me, when I think of ColoradoN5X or Bryan, I think of the king of like BMWs in Colorado.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's a bold statement to say.
Yeah, I mean,
or
so I know there's gonna be people out there, bro. They're gonna be like, "Oh, bro, this guy's just talking out of his ass." I mean, I'm gonna say, bro, and I'm not trying to be cocky, but I think Color5X definitely put BMWs up in the map here in Colorado. I don't think that when I was driving a 335 back then, man, no one had one, right? And if they did have it, people barely had mods. There's only a few, people that had 335s back then. Believe it or not, Assad had a 335 back then.
He did.
And he had like nitros. There's a guy named Kron. He had there's a few people that had 335s that are way, go back way older than me. But I think I definitely put it out there on the maps. And a lot of people now know BMWs because of ColoradoN5X here, at least in Colorado. We put BMWs up on the map for sure. And I'm not saying we have the fastest ones in the world, because it's hard to break records here, with this DA and the altitude. There's only so much we can do here. But we definitely, a lot of people come from different states and visit our shops and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, it helps though. Like to be a performance shop in Colorado and to have success up here, it actually will propel you forward whenever you go anywhere else in the U.S. because you deal with more challenges being up in the altitude. Yeah. What is it, like we lose like 21% of our
I don't know the
power?
exact number, bro. So I'd be lying
somewhere
to you.
around there, right?
Someone's gonna correct me, but yeah, no, it's a good amount, man. So like for example, on my my Supra, just for example, that one I ran down at sea level or Arizona, my car will run a 5, back then at least, this was, I want to say like 2 years ago, it was running a 5.2, 5.3 down, or here in Colorado. With this altitude and elevation, dude, I got to, Arizona, immediately it was like running 4.4. So just
Crazy.
like that, just almost like a whole split second just off that. So the DA and the altitude make a huge difference. I'm sure, there's other factors in it, but no, it makes a difference.
It's a whole nother experience because like recently last year, so I have a Shelby GT500 and driving up here, it feels fast. But then my buddy down in Tennessee, he let me drive his GT500 and it feels like a completely different car.
Yeah.
And I almost wish like we had that same experience up here at altitude, but of course, it gives us that advantage.
Nah, bro.
The upper hand. Yeah.
It's crazy for sure, man. I mean, I even drove a stock Chevy Equinox down in Florida, and that thing was pretty
It's
rubber.
yeah,
so it's crazy because, I mean, just the altitude. But no, we're definitely pushing it. And not only a performance shop, we're a big online shop. So a lot of people don't know, but there's 2 businesses in one, right? So ColoradoN5X is what, people know us for. But that's an online business, right? We also do performance there, but, I separated the businesses and now it's called Beamer Goats. Okay. And that's where we do all the all the modifications and stuff. ColoradoN5X is a business of its own, and that's where we sell parts. I mean, we do close to about, I want to say 2,000, 3,000 items is what we sell in a month.
Wow. That's nice. That's a lot. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah, that's big, man. So, I mean, in terms of like BMW, right? Because is there any group that you think that is like up to your level, like in terms of being like the goats of Colorado, like anyone that you would pay homage to,
like a BMW wise?
Yeah, BMW group.
Here in Colorado, I don't know, man. I know there's a few BMW people out here, and they have their shops, and I respect everyone here. There's a lot of competition, and I love it, but I don't think anyone's put it on the map. I mean, okay, so there's this guy Lonzo.
Yeah, he's building something crazy.
Yeah, he's building a crazy, but he doesn't have a shop, right? He sent it out to get built. I mean, he reached out to me prior to ask me about certain stuff, and I told him straight up, man, because he went from like a small power. I think he wanted like 1,100 horsepower first, and slowly changed it to 1,200, 13, and now he's going to like 1,500 horsepower. Right? There's only a few shops here in the whole world that have even built something to that, to that extent. So I showed him what shops to go to for the motor and stuff like that. But his car's gonna be crazy fast when it's here. It's probably gonna be the fastest BMW here in Colorado.
Right.
Granted, how much he street races it or not, that's him. But for sure, will be one of the fastest BMWs here in Colorado.
So, and when it comes to the BMW game, looking outside of Colorado, some people that I took notice of is like people like No Hezzy and
Yeah.
I can't remember the other guy's name, but they're on the East
One
Coast.
Stock.
Yeah, One Stock. Like, do you watch what they do? Like, what do you think about?
No,
like,
I watch what they do, bro. They got like the shops that they've been doing it. They've been doing it for longer than I've been alive, probably, man.
Right.
I gotta pay my respects to them, but they've been doing it for so long, man. I mean, they build cars, they break it, and then the next day they're building them, again.
yeah.
They just got that. They just got that power, man, to just do it right there and then. I would like to say I have that power to build them right up, but we don't do engine builds here at our shop, which is what really restricts me.
Is that something you're looking to do in the future?
I looked into it with an old tech that I had of mine, but there's just a lot of problems, and I'd much rather take it to a shop that specifies in just engine builds.
Right.
There's a lot of shops out there like, KLM. There's I can name a few others. I just don't want to, name them here, but these shops just dedicate themselves to motor building.
Yeah, it makes
And,
sense. Yep.
I mean, I'd rather just send it to them, let them do the crazy work. It's just like transmissions, pure transmissions. I send my transmission to them, and then we just put everything together, tuning, all that stuff, we can do.
So this is a hard question, but you have how many BMWs right now?
If you count my Toyota as one, technically only 3 right now.
So you're talking about the Supra?
Yeah, the Supra.
Okay.
And then
How
2
much
others.
money do you think you spent in total towards all your BMWs over the past years?
Well, I know my parents aren't watching because they don't speak English, but I've spent crap just in the Supra alone. I want to say just this year, and granted, man, I think I've only had the Supra this year for like I want to say maybe 3 weeks, and then it went shipped right back out. The Supra probably has over 100,000 easily into it, probably 150, just because of how many motors I went through
And
on
that's
that
one
one.
car.
Huh?
And that's one car.
It's just one car, man. The G80 M3, believe it or not, is probably the cheapest or one of the more cheaper cars that I built. That one probably is close to like the 30-ish range, if not a little bit more, depending on like, I'm doing cosmetics and a little bit else. And the 335 that's sitting out back, that one, damn, probably like another, 30, 40. So it's been a good amount of money,
That's a lot
bro.
of money, man. That is a lot. But that's what it costs to be in the game like this.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy because honestly, if you want me to be honest, man, I probably would have had just one BMW and I could have put all the money into one. And just had
and have
regular
something
cars.
crazy. Yeah, that
But
makes sense.
I'm being stupid, man. And I try to keep up with, like, I wasn't even going to buy a G80 M3 for a hot minute. I wanted the prices to cool down.
Right.
But every big shop that I knew was getting a G80 or, G8X, G82. And they're getting these cars to modify them and play with them. So I was like, shit, I got to buy one now to kind of be with them and develop, carbon or whatever they're doing. I got to stay one step ahead. So
Yeah. So is BMW king of car culture for you?
for me, I mean, obviously there's other cars, but that's all I know.
That's all.
This is literally all I like. That's all I breathe. It's literally, I know everything about these, the older BMWs I love. I just don't work with them as much.
Yeah, that's
Easy.
a good point. Like, why don't you ever get into like the classic BMWs?
I did.
Are you are you more into like the power that you could put down with the
I'm more-
BMWs?
Yeah, definitely into the power for sure. And the raw and then just how they look, man. I mean, I love my 335 that's back there, man. I've been done with these cars I've been telling myself that I've been done with these cars for like 6-7 years. And
Like
I
when you
keep
say
buying
done,
one.
you mean like
Like done with that 335 platform N54, and I'm gonna sell it and never.
you're right because I actually seen you post about that before.
Dude,
Like, I'm done with the 335i, and then
I sold, so I had my first 335. That's what got me into everything, and that's when I started modding. I got a 335, and it was all-wheel drive. And I actually had the record at the time for the fastest all-wheel drive N54 in I think, all United States.
hey,
This was in 2016. That record was only there for like a month because some other guy came in and stole it real fast. But I sent the car out to a shop down in Florida to build the motor, and they built everything. I had it there for a bit, and it made, on their dyno, I think it made like 780 wheel all-wheel drive. And back then, that was a lot,
That's a
man.
lot,
Obviously,
yeah.
780 now, it's not
780 is
that much,
crazy.
but
to me, I still think that's enough. That's funny, but I feel exactly what you're
yeah,
saying.
no,
Yeah,
trust me, Mel, to
Yeah.
me, that's still a lot.
Yeah,
But I
it's
mean,
still-
nowadays, if you got people with 2,000, 3,000 horsepower cars, it's
dancing
nothing to
down
them.
the highway, huh?
So, I mean, yeah, to me, that car started, a lot to me. And I bought that car. I had it for a while. Built like 3 motors because I had bad luck with motor builders and had a lot of money invested. And then I sold it. I was like, all right, I'm done. No more 335s. These cars are so old. Tired of it. Bought an M3, the F80s.
Yep.
Not even like
Those are
3
really
months.
popular right now.
Yeah, they're really nice too. And then of course I immediately bought my. I got regrets. I was like, I like these M54s. They're super cheap to mod.
Yeah.
3 months later, I went to Vader Solutions. They're big on BMWs. They're down in Arizona. They're, you'll see them if you start looking into BMWs. You'll hear of Vader Solutions. They're a huge, huge shop for BMWs. They're breaking records left and right all the time as well. But I went over there, bought his N54, and drove it here. Of course, I was trying to drive it here. I think I only got 40 minutes out, and then it broke down on me on the highway. So then I called a trailer, but that car burnt down on me. I only had it here for like 2 months, burned down on me here.
Yeah.
And then I told myself, yeah, all right, I'm really done with these cars. I'm never buying one. And then I bought another car literally like 6 months after that. And that car, I had it for almost like a year to 2 years. And that's the video that was on TRC.
Right.
And that video honestly gave me a lot of attention. A video actually helped out my website a good amount. So shout out to Charles and TRC. They helped me out. That video helped out a lot. Definitely made me blow up more in the N54 community.
Yep.
And yeah, so had that car, and then I decided, all right, this time for sure, I'm selling it. I'm never buying one again. Sold it. Man, it just came back.
Coming back. Yeah, it keeps coming back.
Yeah, got it 6 months later.
I think it'll probably always be that way because now that we keep moving more into the newer generation cars, the whole vibe and the whole feeling that cars give you these days that are new generation, they do not feel the same at all.
Facts.
And I've experienced 335i before, and that is one of the best car experiences that I have had in the past. And just like you were talking about earlier, like I sold my S197 to your cousin.
Yeah.
I missed that car. It was more raw, with the Shelby GTF 500. It is an amazing car. Like the DCT is amazing. It's quick. It's a whole nother experience though. So I think a lot of it comes down to the experience with the car. But yeah, that's how I would view it.
Yeah.
Is that the reason for you, or like
it's probably that, and then it's cheaper, bro. I think the biggest one so the raw power, that's a big one. I drive my G80 M3. That thing made 850 on the dyno. Feels fast, but you drive it and it just doesn't give you that same experience. You drive it, man, and you just, paddle shit.
Yeah, it's just quick.
Yeah, and then you drive my 335, and if you
gotta actually
watch a
drive the car.
video of me giving Charles a ride in it at TRC, man, that thing just goes everywhere. It's moving. It feels raw. It feels like you're gonna die.
Yeah.
I think that's what I like.
Yeah,
So-
being on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, man.
yeah, so I think that's what I like. And then, if I blow my motor up in that car, it's like $2,000 to buy it. If I blow my motor up in G80, it's like $15,000. So
Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Well, I know, like, with the older cars, a lot of people are getting into 335i's more. Have you seen the market and prices go up over the years? Like, how would you compare that now to like 5-10 years ago?
yeah, that's a good. Honestly, man, I think that it just depends on the condition of the car. So when I was telling you that I sold my 335, the last black one that I had, I sold it. I actually bought another one for like $3,000. It was a shell, had a lot of stuff into it. It was silver. That's the one that I have now. It's just wrapped black.
Right.
I did everything to it, and a year into it, I sold it to my cousin because he wanted a 335. I sold it to him for like $23,000 or something like that. And again, I'm never done with these cars, so I bought it back after a year because I was on the hunt for a 335, and there's some 335s that I could buy for $5,000, $6,000, $13,000, but I rebought mine for $22,000 because of the mods that it has. Like, it's an 8.8 rear end. All the modifications are done like perfect. So finding a clean one, no oil leaks, is really hard. So I ended up buying my car back, and now he's on the hunt for another one. But
that's how it goes.
I get cars, 335s at the shop often now, and it's just, unfortunately, it's a bunch of young kids now that don't take care of the car. They just want to make it fast. They forget about all the other problems. So they're selling cheap. But if you find a clean 335, they're still going for the 20s.
That's a good statement that you just made. So, because a lot of times when I hear about the 335i or just BMWs in general, they say you can make a lot of power at a cheap cost. Is that like a fair statement? Do you like hearing that statement?
Yeah, you can.
Downpipe it too.
Downpipe too. 340, it's B58 for sure. B58s are a whole different level, you know, compared to an M54. M54s, they have all these, issues. You got high pressure fuel pump injectors. You got water pumps. You got issues up the ass on these M54s.
Yep.
They're definitely, I think, in my opinion, I mean, obviously, someone's going to correct me, but for the price and, the car, I think the N54 is the best car that you can buy for $20K. I mean, my car, it's worth around 20-something K. For $20K, what are you going to buy that makes 700 plus horsepower? I've abused that car for 2 years now, like straight, like digs.
I could argue that one though.
Which one?
A Mustang.
Mustang.
20K.
Yeah, okay.
You know.
All right, I'll give it to you on that one. The Mustangs, yeah, they're pretty cheap. I mean, not a lot of people do a lot of Mustang here that I know. At least that I know.
Right. Yep.
I know
agree,
there's. I mean, who do you take your car to? Cap.
I do take my car to Cap.
Cap. Yeah, it's a great shop. So.
Yeah. And they do a lot of other cars too. It's not just Mustang. They do like Vipers. They do supercars. Like
Yeah.
they have a lot. What are some of your like? Because you have a lot of experience in racing, right? And that would be street racing.
Yeah, just street racing. Digs I try, but man, every time I feel like I can get into the digs, I break everything. So
Right.
it costs a lot of money.
So BMWs are roll cars.
The ones that I do, I'm not saying they're rolls. They're definitely like the G80
Yeah.
is definitely a dig car. Those cars are quick. I personally don't do digs on my cars to try to save them. Digs are definitely, not knocking on digs. If I could do digs and not break stuff, I'll do them more often. My Supra, on the other hand, I'm actually building more for a dig car.
Is your Supra the fastest one you have?
My Supra is the fastest car I have currently. Yeah.
Okay.
So
And that's basically a BMW.
it's a BMW. Everything's on it as me. If I take that car, I don't care who argues with me, man. I take off the shocks, everything. Everything says BMW. The motor's a B58. It's a BMW. So
Yeah.
even the chimes, the system in it, it's a BMW.
Yeah.
So
Do you like that car? Like, do you like?
I do. It's definitely one of my favorite cars that I've had. It is tiny. I'm a smaller dude, so
Yeah.
I fit in it perfect. But it's definitely a nice car. The quality on the inside is definitely cheap. I think BMW could have enhanced it more. The
Yeah.
speakers, audio, man.
Yeah, growing up, whenever I heard about BMWs, like at a young age, I always just thought of the term luxury. But now it's like they're more looked at as sports cars
Performance.
versus
Yeah.
like luxury. And when you talk about the Mark V and it's a BMW basically, but it's cheap on the inside, like are these cars even luxury anymore?
I mean, have you seen my G80 M3?
I have, yeah.
Have you seen? All right, man.
Yeah.
I think it's a very nice luxury car. All right.
Right.
You go inside of it and it's definitely luxury, but it's also like, they have their performance. They do their thing, man. I think that these cars, they're best of both worlds,
Right.
Depending on which car you buy.
Right.
And you look at my 335. I don't think it's luxury, but it's definitely
Yeah.
nice looking.
Back in the day though.
Yeah, back in the
that
day.
time period, yeah. That's,
Honestly, man, the
Yeah.
car looks good. I mean, I like the car. It looks really nice. That's why I keep coming back to it. I think it looks really nice for the year that we're in,
Yeah.
which is,
that fly, I
yeah,
guess. Smack
fly,
the
man.
car.
It's getting annoying, but
Smack the
yeah,
car.
bro, let's think.
I know, right?
But nah, man, my Supra is it's a cheaper car for sure.
Yeah.
Like the quality, everything on the inside it is cheap, but
That
it's the
makes
fastest
sense.
car I've owned. So
So, with all the street races that you have, what are like your most memorable wins that you got? Like
Most
and
memorable
what,
wins?
what was the cars that
Who
you
you
beat?
like when you beat you?
And you were like,
I'm
wow.
him.
Yeah.
honestly, man, it was we were at Cap. So back in the good old days, right,
Yeah.
when TML was a thing. I think it was Street Muscle and a few other
Yep.
groups. There was what was it? I think it was Streetcar Takeover was out here for one of the events, and obviously we all meet up at Cap the night before.
Yep.
And we were there, man, and there was a ZR1, there's a newer one, and I had
ZR1s get down
yeah,
too.
that thing was nice. So he had just gotten off, I believe, Cap's dyno. I think his name's Andrew Hill, I believe.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and he has a beautiful ZR1. I don't know if he still has it or not, but I believe, I could be wrong, it's on the YouTube video on 1320.
Yeah.
And he actually because I'm in that video, and he goes, "How much does this make?" And dude, this flies.
I know this thing is crazy.
These guys get out of here. But he made, I think it was close to like 850 to 900, is what he said, somewhere in that range.
Right.
And my Supra, I had just built it at the time, like literally just built it, and I had just gotten it off the dyno tuning as well, and it only made 712. So we went out to race, and I didn't expect to win at all. Like when he lined up next to me, I was like, shit. And then I see
Yeah,
Kyle
it's
in the
about to go
passenger
down.
seat. I'm like, oh, this is going.
It's about to go down.
This is
yeah.
about to go down. I'm about to lose, but it is what it is. I'll take a happy L. And man, it was completely the opposite. So my 712 versus his, 800 something. I was gone by like 3-4 cars.
Yeah, I think I remember
And-
seeing that actually. Yeah.
And when it happened, I laughed at it because Andrew, he didn't know, because I told him I was gonna put nitrous in it eventually.
Yeah.
And I think I put nitrous. That car's never touched nitrous. But in the video, he goes, "Yeah, man, he just put nitrous. That's probably what it is."
Really?
So it's definitely one of my favorite races that I've had. I've had a few other ones, but that one was probably the one that I
was the
remember
one.
the most.
Okay. Now let's take a step outside. Like this fly's getting crazy on me too. Outside of BMWs, like how do you feel about supercars?
Supercars?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on those cars these days and how they stack up on
Yeah,
power and
you gotta have money, man. Let me just put it that way. They're crazy cars. I love it. If I could do it, and have that consistent money. I mean, dude, I'm dumping a lot of money into my cars, and I feel like, damn, I'm gonna go broke here soon.
Yeah.
And all these newer cars, it's cool. It's amazing. But honestly, if you want me to be very honest, if I had all the funds, because I'm gonna be very honest, if I had all the funds to mod, a Lambo and make it 2,000-3,000 horsepower or Viper, I think that there's so many cars you can race. Like, I'm looking at some of the fastest guys here in Colorado, right? I'm not going to mention their names, but some of the fastest guys out here, they get one race a whole year.
yeah,
So
that's a really good point.
it's cool. It's just how many races you're going to do. And then on top
Yeah.
of it, if it breaks, you're not looking at
That's not a cheap
500.
build.
Yeah, it's an expensive build.
Yeah.
It's a
car-
money game at that point, right?
Yeah, it's a whole different game, man. They
Yeah.
got their own platform. I'm not even in their level. Now, that's why I say I love the N54. That thing, man, I can go out to any meet, anytime, and I have competition wherever, whenever, and I'm enjoying my car more.
Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense.
So,
Yeah, I have seen cars in the past like they get way too fast, and it's like no one even wants to race you because
yeah.
What's
what's the point?
Who's his, what's his name? Forgot what his last name is. Licho, Ali Chu. He has a Lambo. That Evo, crazy Evo.
Oh, Ali,
All right,
yeah,
Ali,
yeah,
I
yeah.
always confuse his name,
Yeah.
bro, because he goes by so many different
Yeah,
names. But
yeah.
all right, bro, look at him, right? He has some of the craziest cars out here,
Yeah,
right? He has an Evo. He bought an Evo to, kind of like race these normal cars, because I'm still good friends with him, and he told me, he's like, yeah, I'm building it to race your Supra. Bro, his car is completely different. He's put like 100, 200K into that car. He's on supercar level now. Like,
I think it runs like what 7s or 8s.
yeah, I think it runs, 7s. I mean, he did here at Bannermere. I remember he's like, oh, you and me would be close for my your Supra and my Evo would be good. First dig, bro, he trapped like 159 or something like that. I was like, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
You're way faster.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, then, so like to you, what is a supercar? Because to me, I feel like a supercar is very subjective in today's time. Maybe not back then, but now I feel like it's becoming even more subjective if you really think about what it
supercar.
was really meant to be. Because
Well-
it's basically, to me, like my opinion, I would say it's a higher end sports car.
Okay.
C8. Kind of like one of them.
That's a hard topic because it's like,
True.
Yeah, I guess it's subjective to people.
Yeah.
To me, a supercar, right, is like a Lamborghini, a
Lamborghini.
a Porsche. Depending
so
on which
you would
type
say a
of Porsche.
Porsche is so
Depending on which type of Porsche.
we did a
you know?
car show recently, and one of the categories for the awards was exotic cars, but it was a Porsche category. Some people agreed that it's a supercar, and then some people disagreed. And I was like, it just depends on which one we're talking about, like
Yeah.
the GT2 or the GT3. But let's say you apply that same concept to, like he said, the C8, right? Versus like the C5 or the C6 back in the day. Like that wouldn't be considered a supercar, but now a
Right.
C8 could be considered a supercar, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess, like I said, it's really subjective.
It
man,
is
to see who you're
subjective,
talking.
exactly. Yeah.
I see C8s with, I see high schools, man. There's a high school near me. I see kids with C8s all the
It's
time.
crazy.
man.
That's crazy.
ain't it?
So, like, I see kids with some
crazy.
exotic
I see a lot of
cars. So
C8s.
it's, to me, like I said, I think of Lamborghini, Vipers,
Right.
crazy cars. That's what I think of supercars when I see them.
V10 plus.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's just my term, right? Like my M3, right? It's when I got it for 82. Some people got it for 100. Technically could be considered a supercar to some people. I just
Good, yeah.
I don't consider it that. So
Yeah. Well, if you talk to the normal person and then you put them in the passenger seat and you took them for a ride in one of your BMWs, they're gonna say it's a supercar.
yeah, and I guess so.
Especially how fast you're gonna be able to go.
Yeah, it could be, man. But
yeah.
So, you remember when we were at a meet, right? Me and my bro were at one of our slush meets, and we were talking with these BMW kids, and they were like, the M5 is the fastest sedan out the
Oh,
box.
yeah, someone did say that to me because I did have the Shelby, and someone said out the box the M5 is being the Shelby GT500. From what I learned, the Shelby GT500 is now like the fastest out the box. 760 horsepower. We looked up videos. The Shelby won.
Yeah.
That's why I really do like what Mustang has become. But when it comes to BMW, they're up there too as well because now you can get that M5 or M3 and it's like, boom, you do a
Instant.
tune on it and you're whipping like everybody's ass.
Yeah. I mean, M5s make crazy power out the box, but they're heavy.
Yeah.
So M3s lighter. That's why you don't see. I mean, if you look it up, how many M5s are you seeing that are making 7-second passes or 8-7? There's not a lot. M3s on the other hand, you see a crap ton. I think that's literally what's I think
difference.
last night I saw another G82 go into the 7s. I think there's like 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
They're into the 7s now. People are modding these because there's more mods. There's more stuff to do out there. Now there's some M5s out there that are quick, but
Yeah.
out the box, I gotta say the
You
M3
think
still.
you think you'll ever touch the M6 and the M8s?
I touch some. I do. Like we're actually this week we're doing some turbos and a motor for an I think it's an M5. But there's just so much available for those cars. The support is not there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
it's just mainly older like dudes that just want a little bit more power and
Yeah. Well, there's
That's
this
it.
guy I met in Tennessee because we just had our festival out there this past weekend, and he has a M6, and I think it's 1,300 horsepower,
really.
and he was going nuts, like destroying everybody. Because those are all-wheel drive, right?
What year was it?
I don't know what year it is. If I had to guess, it was probably like a 20 plus
Yeah,
easily.
yeah. So you can switch. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
1,300.
off the line, he was just going
Beating
Just-
dudes.
beating everybody. Just
It was bad.
That's crazy.
So-
yeah.
and I haven't seen M6s, street race or like do digs and really dominate like that.
Yeah, no. I mean, they're quick, man. I'll tell you that right now. They're quick, but you don't see many. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
like,
maybe you should be, you should,
I know.
you should,
The problem
break
is
that,
development, man. I mean,
Yeah.
we develop some parts. We do have some people, like some companies that we develop some stuff with. But the reality is, we don't develop anything in house. And if we're trying to find, certain stuff, we need a fabricator. We need someone to fabricate every little thing that we want, and that's where the hard part is. I'd much rather put the time and effort and all the resources into the newer cars, or believe it or not, man, my number one seller still is those E92s. Like I sell parts for those cars like no other.
That makes sense.
So
And who's the main demographic you say are of BMW drivers?
like for like the age.
Yeah, who has these E92s? Is it like younger kids coming up to you, or is it
Yeah,
like
it definitely is. I
older?
mean, I'd say like 80%, 90% is definitely younger kids. Like I want to say from 16 years old, as soon as they get their driver's license to 25. Now I do have a lot of clientele. I'd say that extra 10% that is older, but those older cars are. I mean, the 335s are super clean, but
Yeah.
they're not modded crazy.
Do you ever think like, dang, where did this kid get all this money from?
I do, man, all the time. Man, what was it? I want to say like it was a crazy story. This guy 2 years ago or a year ago, this kid comes in. He bought a 335, and he's like, "Hey, man, I just want to do a lot of crazy stuff." He talked to me over the phone for about a week. After a week, man, I was like, this guy's just kind of bugging me. He's asking for too much because he was like, I want this, I want that. His bill was like 30 grand, man. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
And I was like, how old are you, man? He's like, yeah, I'm 17, but I'm gonna do it all. I was like, yeah, I hear that a lot, especially at 17, bro. 30 grand bill, like that's not happening.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because he came in a week later and he's like, all right, bro, you ready? Well, let's start ordering it. I was like, what do you mean to start ordering? Like,
He's like,
yeah,
hold
the
on.
fun. Yeah, he's like, yeah, man, I'm ready to order everything. I think Buddy dropped like 20 grand that same day with me on just parts. And he's like, yeah, I'll bring the other one. My bank actually got limited, so I couldn't only pull this out. He brought the other 10 grand, and that was just like in parts that he bought for the car. He bought like
That's
the
wild.
best of the best.
He was like,
That's
let me
wild.
get right
So,
on it. He was like,
I mean, I didn't ask what he does. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
always
just like,
tempted to ask
wow.
certain customers what they do, but I
Yeah.
just choose not to, especially if they're young. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
you got the money. Let's just roll
Let's
with
just
it.
roll with it. Let's get it done. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a lot of young generation that are coming out with the fast cars now.
It is, man.
Like, back in our time, we were used to seeing like people that were 30, 40 plus with all the fast stuff. Now it's like the young cats are running everything.
Yeah, who was it?
And I guess people would look at me as a young cat and you as a young cat, but it's like there's people even younger than us that's doing it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I think back, when TML was, TML was the best time. I have to, hands down, I don't know if if you were active at all.
Yep.
When TML was a thing, but man, that group was amazing. Like it had, they would do their meets. It wasn't many cars. It was like 20, 30, but out of those 20, 30 cars, bro, you did like 15, 20 plus races a night.
Yep.
You would race, win or lose. It was always a fun time.
Yep.
So I miss those days. I wish it was like that now. It's, it's not the same, but
it was more secretive, but it was also even more educational at that time too.
yeah.
Because it's like you couldn't find everything on YouTube.
Yeah,
You would have to go and meet people, and then they would have to give you that information, or you had to make those relationships and network to be able to get, what you were looking for. But it also like heightened competition to a whole nother level that did make it more fun.
Yeah.
And, speaking on that topic, since you brought it up, like, how would you say, today's car culture is versus 10, 15 years ago?
It's crazy, man. It's going to be a hard topic because I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off. I think a lot of people are jumping into the car community now without without being actually, a car enthusiast. I think they just want to hop on the trend, and I fully disagree with that. I mean, it's cool to see other, younger people have fun, and it's amazing to see. But I think some people are doing it very recklessly, and they're not.
It's because they see it on the internet.
Yeah, they're ruining it.
They see you on the internet, and then they're like,
yeah,
I want to do what this dude's doing.
Yeah, but I'm doing it a little bit different,
yeah,
right?
you are, but they don't know how.
And
Yeah.
you've been through it. Like, you learned the game. Like, you just didn't hop in. Like,
For sure. I've done a lot of stupid things in my day. I won't say I will.
We all have,
but,
yeah.
trial and error, man.
Yeah, but I mean, there's definitely certain stuff that I've never done that I see people do now that I'm like, all right, you guys are taking it a little too far. Like the takeovers, bro, I don't like that. Like I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if you guys like it or not.
No,
but
I don't.
I hate takeovers, bro.
I don't.
Like that. Like when I go to your guys' meet, Slush, or I go to the SL. I haven't gone to an SLS or a Nationwide or those meets in a while. But when I go to these meets, I love the concept. Car enthusiasts come in, they go, but people ruin it. You get those people, they just do, takeovers. They do burnouts, rev it for no reason. And I get certain cars, if you see a twin turbo Lambo, I want him to rev it too. But there's an extent, and there's a time and a place.
They got to get that itch out, and like, I don't know. It's kind of weird because it's like, I also disagree with it, but then it's like we are the pathway to educating them on how to be a car enthusiast because it's growing at like such a fast pace. So like the kid that was 17 that came to your shop, built something. That was probably his first car he ever like really got built, huh?
Yeah, honestly,
Right?
we built that car. He never. After we finished it, I think he had it for like 3 months that we touched it. We never heard back from him after that.
Really?
Then he disappeared, or he crashed, he got in trouble.
That's crazy.
Stole money from his parents, no clue, but I never heard back. So I don't know what ended up happening to him. But.
Well, I'm sure there's clients that like you build relationships with and you have conversations with. Like, it kind of shows you how important you are to the car culture and like what information you share. Because the way I look at it, you have takeovers, right? And then we go back in the day, people did digs in the street, but they would do it more responsible, way out the way. But if you take takeovers, if they didn't do it at intersections and they went way out the way, where they're not disturbing any peace and they were doing it safely, it's kind of like another concept of like car culture. Like if we were to look at drifting or we look at drag racing, it's the same thing. They're just doing it unsafe, and the internet is influencing it in a bad way.
Yeah.
They just got to be educated properly.
Well, I think also too, it's like the choice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you choose to go like you're isolated. You're not putting other people in danger.
Right. Exactly.
When you shut down a whole intersection, like imagine like
it's not safe at that
like
point.
you driving home from work, you working the night shift, and like
you're just trying to get home.
whole sections.
It's kind of like you said. Honestly, you made a good point. Like, you said pretty much people do it like digs, right? They do it, but they do it somewhere safe. They're not doing it in the middle of an intersection. There's a time and place to do it. I guess maybe I'm old. I don't know, man. But I find, I don't think takeovers, maybe people like drifting in certain areas. You can do it, man, but just don't do it.
That's what it
a
is.
lot of people.
So. That's what it is. It's the word take over.
Yeah.
Like, why are we taking over stuff?
Yeah, and I guess just do it somewhere. Like if you're gonna do burnouts, I mean, people. I don't agree with it, but you can go to warehouses.
Yeah, they used to do
and,
the warehouse.
you can do warehouses,
Yeah.
and you can do it there away. Now, I'm not saying again.
Don't
I like
do
it,
it.
but
do
I'm
it.
just saying it's
Yeah.
definitely safer than doing it in the middle of the road.
Right.
Because you never know. Like you're taking over, there might be someone. I've had times where I've been blocked, man, and we got like family emergency. You got emergency. You got to get through somewhere.
You're right.
Well, but not only that, if you're doing a takeover, you ruin it. Now, look at
Yeah.
9 News, all these news channels. They're making us like the bad guys.
Yeah, they make us the bad
It's
guys.
tarnishing the car culture.
Yeah.
Like that's the difference between them and us. Is like we don't do that.
And it's crazy because
Yeah.
they target us. Now. Like, so it's a little bit different, but like if I drive, I actually was driving my M3 the other day and I got pulled over because I didn't have a plate, right? There's a whole other reasons why I don't have plates, but it wasn't because I was running from cops or anything like that. Like I genuinely just didn't have plates for another reason. But they immediately thought that I was running from cops, and then they said that there's a lot of meets, and if they catch me at a meet, they're going to impound my car, even though I haven't taken that car out to a meet.
That's interesting.
So
that you said
they
that.
and it's not just me.
Yeah.
My employee, his name's Gabe. He's actually been pulled over at our shop close to like 2-3 times, and they keep saying like, "Oh, we saw you at your car at a meet." This guy does not even go to meets, but they're referring to meets. This is Thornton.
So, are police lying on what's actually happening? Because I heard the exact same similar story 2 days ago, where a cop pulled someone over at a gas station and said they got 3 videos of them racing. That if they don't get the F out of their city right now, they're gonna give them a ticket. And then they also have them on video saying that, like they have them on video of them getting out of the car, so they know it was him. So now they're saying that they can send these tickets to your home
Yeah.
and get you impounded. Like, you think that's the way car cultures like? Are they
It's gonna
lying?
go. No, I mean, I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
I've seen it with some friends. I'm not
Get a
gonna mention
ticket
their
in the
names.
mail?
They've actually. I mean, dude, you just as long as your plate's involved, your face doesn't have to be in it, right? As long as your plate's there and they know who you are, your car can be confiscated. I think it's definitely getting there to where we're gonna become the next California, where now it's gonna be illegal to mod cars here, which is crazy, but.
These emission
Hopefully,
tests.
happens way down the line when I'm only driving electric cars or something like that.
You're gonna be electric? Oh,
No, I'm
man.
not trying to. But you get the reference. But
Yeah,
no, I
I
mean,
get what you say.
hopefully, I mean, starts test. It's. I know SLS and all these big groups trying to communicate with the,
Yeah.
the cops, but the media is one thing, man. The media is telling
It's the media,
people.
The residences, because
Yeah.
ultimately the city council has to respond to them,
Right.
and that's really what it comes down to.
Right.
An interesting situation that happened to me when I first moved to Colorado. I was actually doing an innocent photo shoot. The car was parked, and I just happened to be at a warehouse. This is when I wasn't really familiar with, what goes down at warehouses.
Yeah.
Taking photos of the car. Next thing you know, like, hundreds of people just drive in and like block off the whole warehouse, and they start swinging it. And I'm like, okay, whatever, this is cool. And I keep taking photos. Next thing you know, the cops show up, and then the cops
Shit.
block us all in the whole lot. And then they write down everyone's license plate, and they say, oh, everyone's getting a ticket. And I was like, I wasn't even a part of this. I was just chilling,
They won't.
and I just happened to be here. And then they had like drones in the sky, and people were saying like, yeah, they got drones and they're gonna follow you to your house and give you a ticket. Like, I've heard all kinds of crazy stuff.
That's crazy.
But it's like, at what point we don't even know what's true anymore, or like what's really going down.
Yeah. No,
Except we got our rights, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
it's true, bro. Exactly what you said. I mean, I've had times where I'm driving just like somewhere from far from Parker. I live up in Bryan, like by the new Topgolf. And, I'll drive from one place to another, and sometimes it's just in the middle of the night, and I happen to be in a meet, like in the middle. And I know damn well that if I get pulled over, even for just speeding just a little bit, I'm going to be told that I was street racing.
Yeah.
Just because I'm in the middle of a car meet. Like,
Yeah.
it's happened a few times where I'm driving, I'm like, oh, shit, I'm in the middle of a car meet.
Right.
And I know, they're gonna target you. And like I said, it's just the media, man. I don't know how many stories you've seen on like all these news channels, but I'll see, red Ford Focus versus, Toyota RAV4. They were street racing, killed 2 pedestrians.
Yeah, it's like just because they were speeding, they were street racing. No,
Yeah,
that's not
and then
really
there'd be
how it
like
went
cops
down.
to crack down on street racing because of these guys, and these
Yeah.
have nothing to do with the.
Nothing to do with it at all.
Yeah.
But it's a good story. They always trying to sell a story.
They're trying to
Exactly.
sell
You
it,
know,
man.
so-
the media's gonna twist it every time.
Yeah.
They
It's-
t-
yeah. I wonder what people look at as car enthusiasts, when you're not in it, when you're not an actual enthusiast, like, people can have that certain image of us. where it looks like we're doing these crazy things at night. But
yeah, and I think it's the night meets, and I know all these night meet groups, they have great intentions towards it. I know that they do a great job at trying to like
yeah,
hold everyone accountable, but man, they got so many. It's just like you guys, when you guys have meets, everyone respects it. It's day meets, which are way different compared to night meets, obviously,
Right.
but they're amazing. But then I was actually at a meet, I want to say close to a year ago at one of your guys' place, and it was a chill meet. I don't know where you guys left, but you guys left, and all it was burnouts.
oh yeah,
It was
crazy,
just straight
man.
burnout. So, because you guys went from one spot to another, I was there. I can't say I'm any better. I was there just watching.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not the owner. I'm not gonna be like, everyone now stop. I'm not gonna be the party pooper.
Yeah, that was something that we had to learn because some people they always look for new spots to do illegal stuff at. So when we leave, they'll hang back just to be able to do stuff like that, and it kind of ruins it for us to use that spot in the future because either the property manager doesn't want us there anymore because they think that we caused it. So then it's always hard for us to even find a new spot, and that's a side of being a car host that people don't understand is the things that we have to go through just because of others people's decisions. So
Yeah.
that's why as a collective, it's we got to try and get everyone on the same page. But recently, I would say, things have changed a lot. I feel like a lot of people are holding people accountable now.
Oh, yeah.
Or they see the impact that they actually cause for other people versus just their own selfishness of oh, I'm going to go do this and I don't care. Well, they realize they ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah.
And people need to see that because if you're going to be in car enthusiasts, we are actually a collective. We're a group.
Yeah.
There's no individual. That's the way that I view it.
Yeah,
A lot
that's
of these guys are young too, man. It's that's why it's important for OGs like yourself to step in, be at these meets, let them know hey man, this not how we roll.
Yeah.
Man.
I appreciate you every time you do come out to the
Yeah,
meet.
no.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
bro,
good.
and trust. There's been times, even at my meets, we'll there's only so much you can say.
Right.
Yeah.
I try, even at
There is, yeah.
other groups, you'll tell people settle down, but nowadays you don't know who you're messing with.
Right. True.
And that's the
Yeah,
crazy
true.
part. Sometimes, I've been at certain meets where I'll tell people, man, these flies, they're about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
But
huh?
that there's a certain group that will just be in a certain area, and you can tell it's a group of them. You tell them something, man, you're gonna. It's not even, and that's the crazy
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
That point, you need to have a few people with you and just be like, hey, just tone it down.
Relax.
Honestly, wear
Yeah.
a vest or something. I don't know, man. You need to have
Yeah,
some sort of power.
I
It's
agree with
hard,
you.
but,
And it's crazy that you say that because I'm not going to say their names. I'm not going to say who was involved. I'm not going to say any of that. But there's a very similar story where it's you tell someone to stop doing donuts in the parking lot, and then next you know they open up their little hacky sack bag, and it's it's a gun, and it's
Yeah.
you
Just for doing
want
donuts?
wanna kill
die over
somebody
this
over this?
situation? Is
And
it really
it's-
that serious to be able to do a donut? If someone takes that away from you,
Yeah,
you just want to end your whole life at that person? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. And
Why'd you get locked up?
yeah, exactly.
Just
Just
doing
get
a
locked
donut.
up for just, hey, don't do donuts. Oh yeah, I have this here. What are you doing,
Okay,
bro?
dog,
You're gonna ruin your life for doing
For what?
donuts.
Think-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's what I'm saying. That's why I like the day meets a little bit better than nights because I feel like the tone's a little bit better. It's
Yeah.
just put out.
I don't go to night meets too often personally, but when I was younger, I did go more. I feel like as you get older, you start to go to more day stuff. You know?
Yeah.
But I did notice when you do go to night meets and you're on the highway, most of the cars that are pulled over are the slower cars.
Yeah, it is. It's the reckless cars. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, honestly, one of the biggest reasons why I haven't gone out to night meets is the braking. I've been rear-ended almost 50 times at this
Really?
point. If you go out to any of these night meets, man, and like I said, I'm not knocking on any of the night meets, the actual clubs itself. I'm really good friends with everyone there.
Right.
It's just the people. You get these young kids, right, and then you're driving maybe 60. Right, they're not doing 60 rolls or not even doing 40 rolls. We're talking about digs on the highway, man.
On the highway.
They'll be
Yeah.
they'll be stopping and they'll do 20 rolls, man. And what they don't understand is while they stop, sometimes you get trapped in the middle, man. If you get trapped, it is break and go, break and go, break and go.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a little it's dangerous, bro. And a lot of these people don't have insurance anymore.
Yeah.
It's getting a little
Don't
crazy.
have insurance. That's why I encourage everyone to take their stuff to the track because we also need to keep the racetracks alive.
There's no many tracks here.
There's
That's
not many
another problem.
tracks.
That's a whole different
Yeah.
topic, but
Yeah.
that's where we're
build
at.
one, bro.
There's no more tracks. All right, like I was going to Bandamere last year religiously.
Right.
Or was
You
last
was,
year.
yeah. Every time I was there, I see.
Yeah,
you
I
there.
was going there because I knew it was the last year. I was trying to go there, and I was actually doing more digs on the 335. I think Bandamere lacked more events for roll racers, which again I am not knocking on dig racing. I
Yeah.
love dig racing, but roll racing, I thought I heard some rumors this year actually that, well, early this year before we knew that it wasn't going
Right.
to happen, from a lot of people that Bandamere was actually planning on opening and some other company was going to take over, but they were going to do still digs on Wednesdays and then Monday, Friday roll racing. That would have solved, in my opinion, a lot of street racing.
Street racing, yeah. I think like roll racing, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but roll racing to me is like a newer generation thing
Definitely.
versus like digs is like OG old school. Like
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, bro,
it comes
digs-
down to the culture a little bit. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Like I said, I love digs in certain cars. At 335, I'll do digs all the time, but it's set up for it. For digs, after you make an X amount of power, you need to start building everything, man. You got
Yeah.
axles, the diff, the drive shaft, like
stuff
everything.
starts to.
And then there's more to a digs, right? For roll racing, there's not much more to it. You just gas and then you go. For digs, there's a lot more to it. So
Yeah. I've always leaned on roll racing more because it's more safer for the car, and I don't feel like spending
yeah,
a ton
exactly.
of money to
That's
always replace something.
literally why I do roll racing.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
hopefully they open up a track. I know Bandamere's, trying to get something. Hopefully they open up a track here soon. Because, I mean, and they do rolls. Like, I think, like I said, I know Bandamere, they're smart. They knew
Yeah.
what they were doing. But I think if they opened up the doors to, like, or the state, if the state opened up a track where it's just strictly roll racing, 3 times a week, I think that'll eliminate a lot of stuff. Because
yeah,
I need to do some polls and I need to test and tune. And the dyno's not always the best place to do all these things because you need some real live action.
Yep.
Cars react different on the dyno versus the street. So,
yeah.
you need
Well,
a
maybe
track.
10 years from now, we'll be the ones to open that up, and because
Yeah.
we're the ones that's gonna be pioneering and moving the future forward.
We'll see, man.
Our
Yeah.
age, our generation is like the decisions we make is important now, and we affect the future of car culture. So I definitely agree with you on that one. Being a car enthusiast is an expensive hobby, right? The amount of people that are car enthusiasts, I would say 98% of people lose money doing it. You happen to be one of the few people that make money doing it. How do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about someone that wants to, like they see a video online, they want to become a car enthusiast, they want to learn about cars, they want to get into being a car enthusiast. They think it's like this whole lifestyle that they can live, but majority of it, the people that are in it, they lose money. They don't make money.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the business that you're in, man, right? So, like, obviously, I make money doing it. I also lose a lot. But, no, I get what you're saying. I mean, if there's someone out there that wants to, make money while doing this, honestly, the best thing to do right now is just pick up your phone, YouTube, Instagram Reels. I'm seeing, I don't know if I know you're on TikTok. You're seeing a lot of young people, man, that I've never heard. Like, I'm seeing 16, 17-year-olds that have, like, M4s, right? And
Crazy.
they're posting, hey, I just got this mod for my car. Check it out. This is what I'm doing. They're getting crazy views, likes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everyone can do it, right? It's just the dedication.
You feel like it's oversaturated?
As far as, like
Content. Like, when a lot of people who are big on YouTube are grandfathered in on YouTube that are, like, still very big and they make a lot of money off of it. But now it's like a lot of people copy a lot of people, right?
yeah.
Like we were talking with Charles earlier, and it's hard to be innovative now because everyone copies, or like there's just so much knowledge available that you can do it much faster than we can back in the day.
Too rapid.
I guess it depends on the content you're doing. I guess the style of editing, the style of how you're posting videos. I'm seeing all these young kids post, and some of them are, I think the people that are, like, obviously posting stuff that's been posted before, like from other other content, or the YouTubers, and it's it's stuff that's been posted before.
Right.
That type of stuff is not really blowing up.
Yep.
And I'm going on TikTok. I'm seeing these young kids, man. I'm actually liking some of the content that they post.
I need to
like,
go check it out because I'm not on TikTok like that.
some of these people, like, they actually post some stuff that makes me, and I think, laugh. There's a kid. There's this dude, bro. He's in I forgot what state. His name's Wyatt Webster. He has a BMW channel. He actually had the same subscribers as me on YouTube when we both were starting kind of everything.
Right.
But he took off. Like he's I think close to like 150K subscribers now. And his videos are getting like 100 to 200,000 views per video. Some are getting 1 million. And it's and he does car content, but it's the style of car content that he's doing. It's street racing. Like he just did a video. He's E46. He put like a turbo on it. It's a car that only makes like 300 horsepower. But he went to Walmart and he bought this thing called what is it? Some weird gas, like Astro gas or something. Like where you go to.
I've seen that, and he put it in his.
You know who I'm talking about?
I think I seen the video. He like, what the hell did he put it in like the nitro?
Galaxy gas. That's what it would call.
Galaxy gas.
Galaxy
Okay,
gas, and
I need
it's
to check
something
this out.
like something as stupid as that, but like it's funny. Like if you watch his
different.
videos,
Yeah.
you do not stop, right? And he has car content. He has like some car content that's like amazing. That's like super informative. Like, hey, I'm building my 340. I'm doing downpipe tune, blah blah blah. But he makes it funny. He did I know you've seen some of his stuff because his stuff's gone super viral in the time. He did a E46. He put 3 turbos stacked on top of each other. It's some crazy thing, but he's doing stuff that
That sounds like some Whistling Diesel stuff. I remember when he put like 2 GTRs on top of each other and drove to a meet. Whistling Diesel, by the way, like his content is like, I don't know how he thinks of his stuff, but it's so creative.
Yeah,
And some
definitely
people
is.
like it, some people don't, but
No.
it works. You know,
It's good content, but it's hard to do that. But I think if you have the right niche and you know what you're doing, you're gonna blow up
yeah, you'll blow up.
no matter what.
I used to watch YouTube religiously, like car enthusiast YouTubers. But now I realize as I got older, I don't even watch the same YouTubers no more. And like that's always been my fear with like people who get into, the YouTube scene is like you always have to be behind the camera. But when your audience gets older, then what happens? Like, are you a brand? It's important to brand yourself, I feel like, versus to always have to be behind the camera.
Right. True.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, just kind of best way to do it is just always, reach out to the younger generation. That's at the end of the day, that's what it is.
There you go, bingo, boom.
Yeah, because I
That's it
mean,
right there.
That's the
Bingo.
truth, man.
Yep.
that's the
Reach out
future,
to the
man.
younger
Like,
generation.
bro, I still
Yes.
I'm a young kid at heart, right? So like, I still post on Instagram some of the stupidest shit ever, right? Like, it's kind of dumb, but like my engagement, the way that I promote my brand, believe it or not, man, is stupid. I was getting thousands of views on my Instagram stories every day by just waking up, drinking my Starbucks and calling it
That's
shitty
right.
Starbs.
Yeah,
That's literally it, bro.
Okay,
And
now
then-
that makes sense.
And
Okay, I
it
get
became a trend. Like,
Yeah.
it became not a trend because I'm not saying it's a trend, but like it became a huge thing for like BMW guys to tag me. I would get like 5 to 10 tags a day of shitty Starbs because of ColoradoN5X.
Yo,
Something stupid.
I think I remember seeing something like that where you did have like a coffee and then you just like, oh, this tastes like shit, and it's just like poured it out the window.
Yeah,
It was just
exactly.
like-
So like,
Yeah.
you gotta like reach out. Like, I still like engagement is a big one. So I've been lacking that this year. So as I grow up, right, I'm growing up. Like, there's things that I'm not familiar with the younger generation. Even though I think that I'm still super young.
I think so
There's-
too, and I'm like, dang, there's a lot of
There's
stuff
so
that I don't
much
know.
shit that I don't know that I'm like, dude, holy crap! Like, there's people saying some slang that I'm like, am I really this goddamn old? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But so like, you just gotta know how to make the audience laugh and engagement. So I think that's why my business is a little bit different, right? I sent an email out, so I got like 27,000 subscribers on my emails that I do for like my business, and I sent an email out saying like, hey, like, are you ready to eat ass? We got all these ass saving deals.
Wait, what does your license plate say?
Yeah,
That-
That one says I eat ass. I've been saying that for the longest time, and it's not just the license plate; it's the real thing.
it's a real.
It is a real thing, man.
Yeah.
But the whole memo, it brings attention. Like, I had like 4 or 5 older people that reached out. This is absurd. Like, this is absurd. Like, how could a
It's like the
company reach
controversial
out?
things like makes.
Yeah,
success,
how could a company reach out to me and say this type of stuff? I'm unsubscribing. I'm never buying from you again. But out of those 5 negative, I probably had, I want to say, close to like 50 plus tags on Instagram of people saying, holy shit, this is genius. This is amazing marketing.
crazy.
The site went crazy that day for that stuff
Okay,
like
so
that.
you kind of just motivated me because that shirt that you're wearing, we have that exact shirt, but at the top of it says "fuck cars." and I was like, I can't really sell this or like market it, but someone that's wearing that is kind of like,
Yeah,
like
I
you
mean-
really love cars. It doesn't mean like you hate cars, but it's like fuck cars, but it's like controversial. You
Yeah,
know
no,
what
I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna get people that like they're gonna be with it or without it. Like they're gonna either love it or hate it. But
Yeah.
the younger generation, I guarantee you, is gonna love it.
Yeah,
Right?
right,
It's the older
yeah.
people
The
that are like,
reckless,
oh,
dude, like the more
I don't-
reckless. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, all the younger people are
Yeah.
gonna wear it, bro. You're not gonna see not a single, you know. Now the older people, right? You might be like, oh, that's profanity.
that's
It's
profanity, yeah.
crazy.
You're too old to be doing that.
Yeah.
Like,
Isn't it crazy how like times have changed? Because I feel like back in like the WWE wrestling area, well, of course wrestling's still around, but
Yeah.
like that era where it was like the punk era and stuff, like it was way more explicit. And then
Every-
now we went to less explicit,
Yeah.
but the young generation, like you're saying, is back to explicit. So it's kind of like things have its.
Yeah.
It's a circle, man.
Yeah.
It really is. But now there's some stuff that are explicit. I'm always shadow banned on Instagram. Like I gotta know. So I bought this. I don't know how much I can say on this podcast, but I bought this. It's a clone of Willie. It's like this thing. It's crazy. But like I bought it for marketing.
Yeah.
I know it sounds stupid. Like what are you gonna do? You know, clone my own Willie and then. But I used to put dildos on my cars.
Oh,
And like on the BMW emblem, and I would drive around meets like that. Holy man, the attention that it got was crazy.
Right.
I'd get think about it. I'm sure. I mean, at meets you don't find old people anyways, but some of them. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm driving around and I will see like 5 to 10 people that'll be like, "Dude, I'm buying something." Exactly for that, and they'll come in the next day. That one person's like, "Oh yeah, this company was driving around with this," and they love it. And then they'll come back and they'll buy stuff, and
that's
you just gotta. But I'm always
crazy,
shadow
man.
banned because I post some crazy. Sometimes I have no filter on there. And I
That
post
makes
crazy
sense. That
stuff,
makes
but-
man,
sense.
gotta
There's
get-
someone that comes to our car meets all the time, and he drives around with an Ice Spice flag. Have you seen him? Or her?
No.
I don't know if it's a girl or a guy, but yeah, they
Ice
have a
Spice
whole
flag.
flag, and it's just Ice Spice.
That's great. Yeah, I mean,
the singer.
Yeah, Ice Spice. Yeah.
That's wild.
there's different stuff. That's
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, everyone markets their stuff a little different. I have professional marketing where I do the
Yeah.
legit side, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, from my advice, from everything that I've done, at least my brand, everyone knows me for just fooling around, fucking around, and it's helped the brand. Like it's
Okay.
my brand's grown big just because of the messing around.
Being you.
Yeah, just being me, bro. There's no filter, so
Yeah.
Nah, that's dope.
I respect that. Just a couple more questions for you. The B58, and then I don't know why I'm having a brain fart. What's the other motor that's like highly sought after?
S50. I mean, the S58's the newer
The
M3.
S58. Okay, so
So-
B58 versus S58. Which one is better?
Definitely the B58. S58's the newer motor, right? But if you look at all the other, if you see all these people that are doing stuff with these cars, everyone will tell you the B58 is just way better in terms of like. I mean, they've been out. It's technically 2016 Gen 2. I have a B58 on my Supra, and it's the first gen, and I have the S58 obviously in my M3. And with the S58, there's certain stuff that's limited. Don't quote me on the parts, but I know, like for example, my B58. There's people making 1,000 plus. His name is S58. Now his on there's like Mikey Body or something like that, and his B58s. He's had tons of them in the thousands horsepower, and they're all stock motors. S58's a little bit weaker on that end,
Right.
but I mean both are
Both are really good. Yeah.
both are really good. There's a few changes inside the motor, but
Okay. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Can anybody call you out in a street race?
like BMWs or other cars.
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
someone calls you out, are you gonna accept the call out?
yeah,
Like, how
of
does-
course.
how does
Yeah, I mean,
Carlos
if it's a
work for you?
BMW, so this is
The
how it
Civic
works.
calls you out, man.
Yeah, so like, if it's any other car, of course. I mean, there's only certain cars. Like, I like fair races too. Like, I'm not saying I'm down for like an unknown race as long as it's like kind of in the range, 200-300 horsepower ish range makes sense. It's like if a GTR calls me out that makes 1,500 compared to my 700 horsepower car.
Yeah.
Will I do it? I mean, sure, if he wants to watch the video of me getting absolutely destroyed, it's cool. But like, I try to race cars that are in my level. Now, so my Supra makes 1,200. So I made 1,200 when it came back.
That's fast. Yeah.
Only got to drive it a little bit, and then my cam caps broke on the head. It's nothing to do with the engine builder. It's just defective part, sent it out. Now we're getting some more spicy work done to it. So we'll see what it comes out making. I'm switching the head to 6-port instead of a 2-port, making a lot of other crazy stuff. But when that car comes back, depending on what the weather is, I'll accept call-outs all day for any other BMWs or any cars around that level. Win or lose, it's for fun. Right now,
would you race one stock? Would you race no hezzy, or is that?
Shit, I mean, I'll race them for fun.
Yeah.
Definitely for a clout and attention.
Okay.
I'll race them. I'll lose, but I'll definitely.
If they
raise
came
them.
to Colorado, it makes it more appealing though, because
Yeah,
it's now you in.
Yeah, I mean, if
It's
they're
your
in our
field.
territory,
It's your
right,
home,
I'll
your
love
home.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to have one of my cars that have a built motor to race them to even withstand. Like if they're coming out and I got the cars that I have now, right, they're still quick, 335, 750. My G80 makes 850, but I still need more spice to.
Yeah, come to
keep
Colorado.
up with
come,
them,
come,
but-
come get a taste of the altitude.
Yeah. If the Supra's back here, nice weather, the
Yeah.
car's rear-wheel drive,
Yeah.
I'm always down for it here.
Yeah.
I gotta see you track it at Slush, man. I gotta see that.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Nah, I haven't.
He's
did?
he's brought like a few of your cars.
Yeah, my
to
335. I brought
I'd be
the
so
Supra.
wrapped up in an event, man. I'd be all over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna make a point to come see you.
At where? At PPI?
PPR. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and I was there. I took my Supra there. The only problem with that track is my car, like my Supra didn't have the right brakes. So I
Yeah.
literally taking that turn, man, I was like, oh,
It's
shit, I'm going
it's a
straight
little
to the wall.
sketchy. Yeah.
But
Low
every
prep,
other
eighth
car,
mile,
the
yeah.
335 M3, I love taking it there because those cars stopped way better.
Speaking of like getting scary, are you like one of those adrenaline drivers? So my brother, he got on his GT500 during the meet, and he was like, "I'm done." Like he was.
Oh, you talking about the racetrack?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's because he
was hauling.
I wasn't trying to let off. Yeah.
Oh,
I
shit.
know you've been in situations where it's like you take it all the way to the limit and you don't really let off. Like I was letting off a little bit and I almost like clocked the whole car. So it was like a scary moment for me. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take a little break.
Did you take a break or no?
So in those
No, I
moments,
didn't race no more for us.
Yeah, in
after
those
that,
moments,
But I
where
did like 8 races before that though.
Yeah, no, he was getting
Pretty
down
scared.
all day.
It's like
But once
Like-
you get that moment where you like reach that,
like
Adrenaline. Yeah.
1,000 horsepower in a rear-wheel drive car is a way different experience than 1,000 horsepower in an all-wheel drive car.
Yeah.
And it takes a whole different amount of like imagine driving a 2,000 horsepower Mustang or rear-wheel drive car versus a
Versus
2,000 horsepower Lamborghini.
So speaking on that subject, you know who Ryan is?
Last name?
I can never pronounce his last name. Lowowski.
Oh yeah, with the
All right,
Viper.
With the
and
Viper
yeah.
Lambos. Okay. So I was at his house, I don't even know how long ago, but he had his sheepy Lambo.
Yep.
And he
Oh,
was drunk and he was like, "Hey, bro, want to take my car for a quick drive while I do some logs?" I'm not going to say no to that, right? Now, his wife, on the other hand, she's like, "Oh, you sure you want to trust this kid driving your car? It's a 300,000, 400,000. This is a Performante.
Yeah.
You sure you want?" I was like, "Trust, I got this."
Yeah.
I did not have this. But,
Yeah.
my Supra was making 900 horsepower and it was rear-wheel drive in his car. I think what he was telling me he was making like 1,800, 1,900.
Yeah, that sounds about
And it's
right.
on Motec. So we took it for a drive and it was crazy because those cars are like the technology, man. It's just a little map
Crazy.
thing, just map 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, you
He's
good to
like, "You're
go."
just going to drive it on map 1. I was like, "Yeah, it's cool. I'm just going to get a quick log." I was like, "All right, bro, I'm already driving a Lambo. This is already pretty good." But I drove his Lambo and did a map 1. Dude, that car is... Map 1, I think, was like 1,200 or something like that. Crazy. We went to map 2, map 3, and you're at 160, 180, and
Just like that.
just like that, man. I remember it because my Supra takes a while, obviously, to get there, right?
Yeah.
I remember he was like, "All right, we just need to go here to here." I remember still going. I think it was in it like 3 seconds, and he was like, "Oh, bro, let off." I looked down. I'm like, "Oh shit, we're going 180, 190, right?" So, but we ended up going to, I think, map 3 or map 4. I forgot what it was, and that was like 1,700 horsepower. But now, I'll tell you right now, driving that 1,700 horsepower on his car, still tracked straight. The car was still straight. Obviously, it went a little bit like this, and it was
To the
still
side,
cold.
yeah.
But that Motec, that all
It just
bro,
stuck.
it stuck. If you drive my Supra, on the other hand, my Supra, like making 900, when it came back and was making the 1,200, I only got to go on certain maps, but making 1,000 in a rear-wheel drive car like my Supra, and being as light as it is, my Supra weighs like 3,100 because it has some weight reductions. that car felt way sketchier
Way
than the
sketchier.
Lambo.
You was dancing.
Oh, it
over the
was
highway,
dancing,
huh?
bro. I genuinely, like, the Supra makes me feel like I'm going to die.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
The Lambo's just so planted.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
Yeah, I agree. I can't, and he had the Viper too at that. Like
had
I
the
can't imagine
Viper.
what that felt like.
I remember he told me, he's like, yeah, I'll give you a ride in that thing, or I'll let you drive that one. I was like, yeah, I'm ready. But then he moved to Texas. So
Yeah.
I never got to drive. He's a cool
Charles,
dude.
You got to ride in it. Like that made your
Yeah.
stomach drop, huh?
It's crazy.
Well, it's crazy.
I
Yeah.
could imagine, bro.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
That's
Yeah. Only 1900 in a wheel drive car. That's crazy.
Was it hooking pretty good? Because the Mote? Not even a single issue.
Yeah, that's wild.
Wish I had
dog.
those problems.
Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah.
Well, one last thing for you, bro. We appreciate you. If there's one piece of advice you can give to car enthusiasts, what would it be?
Damn, bro, putting me on the spot. I don't know that one. One piece of advice for car enthusiasts?
Yeah, or if they're a new car enthusiast and they're looking to become a car enthusiast, what piece of advice would you give to the new generation?
Honestly, man, just keep the passion. Just I don't even know how to word it, bro. You just keep the passion, in the cars. If you really like something, just keep doing it. My parents dislike me modding any cars because obviously it costs a lot of money. I still do it. It makes me happy. It's definitely my happy place. I love it. It's something where I can have the shittiest day ever, and I can drive one of my cars and it'll change the day completely. So, I mean, I don't know if that's an advice, but I don't know what kind of advice I'd be giving them. But like, if they're trying to be car enthusiasts, just keep the passion going, man. Just don't let it stop. If someone tries to tell you this flies, pissing me off. I'm trying to give a statement here. If you don't have the funds or whatever, there's other ways to keep the passion going nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But I mean, I didn't prepare for I'm sure there's more
I
advice.
agree.
I've given some better
That's good
advice.
advice.
Not on the pressure. No,
Sometimes that's like as straightforward as possible is like the best advice. So, but before we get going, like where can we, like if people are looking for your shop, where can they find it? Or do you have a website? Like
Yeah. So the website, I'm not even wearing the shirt. The website's ColoradoN5X.com. You can find it. I sell pretty much every BMW part out there. You can think of whatever I don't sell on the site. I can get pretty much. We also have a shop. It's located in Northglenn, by the boondocks out there. And bumpers, that's one of our biggest. You guys know who ECS, Turner Motorsports are.
Yep.
We sell bumpers to them as well.
Yep.
I have a warehouse in California people don't really know about, but I keep bumpers out there.
So anything BMW related, hit up my man Bryan. He'll get you right. Even if it's carbon fiber parts, he has to connect on that too as well. Well, we appreciate you, Bryan. Thank you.
Appreciate it, bro.
You're also doing YouTube as well, right? You're gonna get back on that.
I'm back on YouTube. Yeah,
You hear that? So
hopefully.
now he has to stay consistent.
Yeah, got to. I got like.
It's
4
entertaining.
videos.
You should definitely watch it because I actually watched your vlogs. So
Appreciate it, man.
keep that up. But
Yeah.
thank you. We appreciate it, and we look forward to speaking with you again.
Appreciate it, bro.